Keep it the mayor.
Okay, good evening and welcome to the May 23rd, 2016 Hillsborough Township Board of Education meeting. In accordance with the State Sunshine Law of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Hillsborough Township Board of Education was provided on May 19th, 2016 to the Hillsborough Beacon and Courier News. May I have a roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood?
Surely. Ms. Bogoshevsky? Ms. Santafonte? Mr. Cohen?
Yes, here.
Mr. Cooper?
Here.
Mr. Dutta?
Here.
Mr. Gillette?
Here.
Mrs. Haas? Mrs. Haley? And Mr. Kent?
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. I'd like to provide a motion to go into executive session. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the laws of 1975 provides that a public body may exclude the public from that portion of a meeting of which the public body discusses certain matters for which confidentiality is required as permitted in Section 7B of the Act. Resolved by the Board of Education of the Township of Hillsborough in the County of Somerset and the State of New Jersey as follows. The matter to be discussed is negotiations with the Hillsborough Education Association. B, the matter discussed in executive session shall be disclosed to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. I'd like to entertain a motion to go to executive session.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
How much is it gonna cost you?
We're going to executive session. We'll be back at 7:30. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening. We're back from executive session. I'd like to restart the open public meeting. Welcome to the May 23rd, 2016 Hillsborough Township Board of Education meeting. May I have a roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood?
Surely. Ms. Bogoshevsky? Ms. Santafonte? Mr. Cohen?
Here.
Mr. Cooper?
Here.
Mr. Dutta?
Here.
Mr. Gillette?
Here.
Mrs. Haas? Here. Mrs. Haley? And Mr. Kent?
Here.
We have a
We
quorum.
have quorum. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before we start the regular meeting, we're going to have an organizational meeting. Typically, we have two organizational meetings, especially now that we've moved elections from April to November, from way back when, where the first meeting of the year is more organization with regard to aspects of the board. Now we are having an organization which is for the term July 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2017, which is more aligned with the academic year. So with that,
Fiscal year.
I guess I'll hand it off to you to lead through it?
Sure.
Or do you want me
My
to walk
pleasure.
through it?
Whatever is your pleasure.
Okay, I can go through. So we have designation of signatories, and it's to authorize officials to sign checks for the amounts of, for accounts of the Board of Education as listed below. So you have general operating, payroll account, payroll agency account, section 125 account, high school athletic account, building rental account, investments, and the people that are designated therein. Next section is designation of the official newspapers. We will continue to designate the Hillsborough Beacon and Courier News as the official newspapers of the board. Designation of depositories for school funds, and the funds that you can see there, and it's a continuance there. The board auditors, the board attorney, architect of record, school physicians, treasurer of monies, insurance broker of record, school warrants, board policies, which are to adopt the existing board policies, job descriptions, and this is job descriptions for certificated staff as on file in the superintendent's office, the school district curricula, which is listed in the attachment, field trip destinations, the participation in the NJSIAA Skyline Conference, appointing the Affirmative Action Officer, Title IX Coordinator for 2016-17, the Section 504 Officer, Liaison for Homeless Students, Board Secretary, Attendance Officer.
That's it.
And that's it, as designated in the agenda. So I would like to first entertain a motion to approve items A through T of the organization meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion or questions?
I just want to
Mr.
give
Gillette.
one. I'll give one now, so I don't have to say later. Normally, under school physicians, we would appoint the athletic physician and the general school physician, but we're still interviewing for the general school physician, so that one would not be listed tonight. We'll do that separately at a later date. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Gillette. Okay. Seeing no other, I'd like to have a roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood.
Surely. Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Dutta?
Yes.
Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Mrs. Haas? Yes. And Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Okay. We have correspondence that is listed in the agenda. And first off, just for board members who may not recognize one of the gentlemen at our dais, next in between Mrs. Haas and Dr. Antunes is Dave Dissler, and he's with our attorney Fogarty and Hara. Okay. Dr. Schiff, action agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Kinst. It's my pleasure to announce that we're going to be recognizing some local businesses in the community that actually work with some really phenomenal students. And here to help us recognize them is our Director of Special Services, Mrs. Catherine Orlick.
Thank you. Good evening. American labor leader and civil rights activist Cesar Chavez, who co-founded the National Farm Workers Association in 1962, once said, "We cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about progress and prosperity for our community. Our ambitions must be broad enough to include the aspirations and needs of others for their sakes and for our own." We are here tonight to celebrate our community, and especially those businesses in the Hillsborough community that offer our students rich work experiences that will change their lives forever. The real task we ask our students to do is to take risks in a world that can oftentimes not appreciate the inherent bravery in doing so. Our 30-plus community businesses we work with have understood the richness of celebration in learning to work, and our students have flourished in learning new skills each day, taking risks daily in their application of skills, communication, and understanding of what it means to have a job. Our students continually surpass our expectations of them because of our community partnership between school, businesses, parents, and most especially our students, and the shared belief in what our young adults can truly accomplish. It is with great pleasure and pride in our teaching staff that I am able to stand here tonight and share that this year, for the very first time in our community work program, we have had 6 students find and maintain jobs in our community, which is the first step toward independence and being a viable and integrated part of a community, and which is every person's right. Thank you. Thank you to teachers Mary Deverly and Catherine Girandola. Thank you to job coaches Chris Dimitru, Debbie Mendez, Bridget Gleason, Pat Shulak, Anne Vernoya, Pam Figard, Lisa Swedler, and Tony Marchik, and our local businesses, and many more. I also want to highlight the efforts of Mr. Mark Wilson, who helps to prepare our students in the work program for the myriad of opportunities they find in the community work program. Another fast-growing enterprise I need to laud tonight is the 7th to 8th grade work program of Heather DiBenedetto, who has created the HMS Lost and Found website opportunity for our students whose skills will carry into the world of work so well in this digital age. Her work has allowed our students, with support from the adults in the classroom, to gain skills including operating a digital camera, focusing, taking and previewing pictures, deleting photos, inserting and removing and charging batteries. Students edit, rotate, crop, adjust color, and rename the photo files. Our students maintain a spreadsheet with up-to-date information and then use it to locate the lost items and items returned. All these skills can be used in a myriad of ways in local, authentic work opportunities, from online warehouses to cataloging products in a business. And now we have 2 students that would like to share with you how they feel about their jobs. Brandon and Hannah, can you come on up?
My name is Anna Manoya, and I am a postgraduate for high school. This is my last year of high school. Because I'm 21 years old, I have enjoyed the work program for the past 8 years. I have had great experience and have learned many important skills. This year I worked at Fonzo's, Immaculate, and Minoya County office. These businesses are in Somerville because I have learned to be an independent worker. I no longer have a job coach at any of my sites. I would like to thank all of the business that allowed me to grow and to have a bright working future.
Hello, I am Brian Martin Morales, and I am a postgraduate student and graduating in June. I have had the opportunity to work in the HHS Work Readiness and Community Work Program for a part of 8 years. Because of my success in this program, I am have translated into a new job with Sedesco and have received my first paycheck. I appreciate all of the services that the Hillsborough High School has provided to me. Because of this, I have a bright future. Have a great day.
After this presentation, I'll be presenting certificates to our local representatives in the faculty lounge with some goodies for you. But if you'll stand when I call your name. In Hillsborough, this year there have been so many exciting opportunities for our students, and we gratefully thank businesses such as Sodexo and Kathy Majors, ShopRite, Immaculate Conception and Janine Kavanaugh, the Vernoya Accounting Office and Mike Vernoya. Thank you. Five Below and Sherry Hubner, Mary Mother of God Preschool and Karen Duffy, Triangle School and HES Nurses Offices and Linda Heffernan and Joanne Gagliardi, Lowe's and their Human Resources Department and Paul Ungerleader and Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital Somerset and Tammy Feeple. Okay, that's good. Owner and director of the Goddard School, Susan Hoy, and Norman's Card Shop and Stephanie Kabush, sorry. And Gigi's Playhouse and Liz Kepnes. And we include all the other businesses in the community, which are several, that work in partnership with Hillsborough Schools and allow our students to learn, grow, and participate in the authentic world of work. Author Kurt Vonnegut asks, what should young people do with their lives today? Many things, obviously, but the most daring thing to do is to create a stable community in which the terrible disease of loneliness can be cured. This is our charge, that each student in our community shall be a contributing part of it and have the opportunity of a sustainable job and income to call their own. Thank you, our local businesses, for helping Hillsborough Schools make that happen. You inspire us all. Thank you.
Thank you for this wonderful partnership, and thank you, Ms. Warlick, for kind of hosting this whole event. Let's give another big round of applause to all of our partners that work throughout the community. Let's also give our largest round of applause for our exceptional students who did such a phenomenal job this evening.
And I too want to send just a commending the partners and thanks, heartfelt thanks for your partnership and your commitment to providing help provide career readiness for our students and more importantly, ultimately student independence, which we saw here. So again, thank you. I'd like to take a 5-minute recess so that we can thank our partners personally, and then we'll resume the meeting. So I'll take a 5-minute break. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're back in the meeting. Again, thanks, everybody. We're back in the meeting, and I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Schiff to continue with the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Kentz. I'd like to share some more good news from around the district this evening. Congratulations to Woods Road second grade student, pianist Arjun Barwaj. Arjun recently won first place in the Little Mozart's competition held in Carnegie Hall, New York City. Little Mozart is an annual juried music competition for junior, intermediate, and advanced levels of children ages 3 through 14 years old. Categories are open to instrumentalists, vocalists, and duets. The competition provides young children the opportunity to perform and receive their first applause. Congratulations, Arjun, on what an incredible honor. Hillsborough High School senior Vinyen Ravinder has been awarded a $2,500 National Merit Scholarship supported by the National Merit Scholarship Corporation's own funds. Vinyen was one of 2,500 Merit Scholar designees chosen from a talent pool of more than 15,000 finalists in the 2016 National Merit Scholarship Program competition. According to the National Merit Scholarship Program, over 1.5 million juniors across 22,000 high schools entered the 2016 program by taking the 2014 PSATs, which serves as the initial screening for entrance. 2,500 National Merit Scholarships were awarded this spring, along with 1,000 corporate-sponsored merit scholarships. Let's give Vinay our biggest round of applause.
Yay, good job.
More good news, Hillsborough High School's Robo-Raider Team 75 had an outstanding year this year. The team placed 11th after qualification matches at the Mount Olive District event and ended up as the 8th Alliance captain and made it to the semifinals. At the semifinals, the team won the Gracious Professionalism Award. At the Bridgewater Raritan District event, the Robo-Raiders were picked by the 6th Alliance and made it to the quarterfinals of the event. The team's robot design was highly recognized when they won the Quality Award. The team qualified for the MAR District Championship by ranking 37th out of 121 teams in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. The team was picked by the 2nd Alliance to continue on to the quarterfinals. Congratulations, the Team 75, on an outstanding season. On Tuesday, May 17th, with the help of over 81 Hillsborough Middle School TOPS students, and TOPS stands for Together Our Peers Succeed, Triangle Elementary students recognized May as Special Education Awareness Month. Activities for general education and special education students were held simultaneously. The TOPS students led stations for special education students while athletic and artistic activities were held. I want to thank all of the HMS TOPS students for their participation in making this day possible. A special thank you to them and to their advisor, Lucinda Faria, and Triangle Special Education teacher Tori Wargo for planning such a wonderful day for all of the students at Triangle School. Congratulations to Hillsborough Middle School 7th grade student Aravind Krishna, who was honored on May 14th in Baltimore, Maryland by the John Hopkins Center for Talented Youth. Aravind was a participant in the center's talent search and was recognized for scoring exceptionally high on a rigorous above-grade level test. The center's talent search challenged more than 30,000 students from over 60 countries in 2nd through 8th grade to take a challenging test that would show their true capacity for learning. Congratulations to Aravind.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Schiff. Now would like to approve minutes. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the May 9th, 2016 executive session minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
Judy
Okay.
abstains? Got it.
Abstain, and this is for the executive session?
Was I in on that?
No. Okay.
Two abstentions? Got it. Motion passes.
All right, motion passes. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the May 9th, 2016 public meeting.
So moved.
Minutes.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion passes.
Motion passes.
All right, now we have committee reports. We'll start with education first. Mrs. Haas.
We had a pretty non-controversial meeting this month. On May 17th, the Education Committee met. We approved a wonderful set of science materials for next year. We approved the textbook on entrepreneurship, which I found very advanced and I think will really benefit our kids who are at all interested in entrepreneurial activities. We approved a video for boys' health in 4th grade. We approved the mathematics curriculum for kindergarten. A little bit scary, but very professional. We approved the Effective School Solutions to be expanded into the extended school year program. This would be an $8,000 cost, but well worth it. They've proven very effective in the work that they do, and we can use their assistance during the summer. We had an update on school performance reports, as well as our projected enrollment for next September. And we were provided with some information about our Raritan Valley Community College concurrent enrollment activities. We also had a very good update on the April 28th Professional Day activities. There was a plethora of wonderful programs that were provided to our staff, and very good feedback on a survey that was done afterwards. So all of that is very good news, and that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Haas. Operations, Mr. Gillette.
Thank you. Operations Committee met on May 18th. The first item we discussed was the bid for the awarding the bid for the management of the custodial grounds and plant operations. We received 2 RFPs in this bid. We received RFPs from Aramark and Pritchard. This was, we chose the winner of the bid based on price and other factors. It was a qualified type of bid. So the winner, which we'll be awarding tonight, is Aramark. The cost of the new contract is going to be about $40,000 more than we currently pay, but $40,000 less than the other bid. And we're comfortable with that going forward. We also briefly discussed, as we did 3 years ago, moving the management to an in-house position, manager and an assistant manager that we would hire and take over the other aspects of it, which is to purchase all of our own consumable paper and other supplies, and also purchasing equipment. We had some discussion about that, but the bid was already out, already ready to be awarded, and the timing would not be amenable to doing that. And there were also some concerns among members too that we need more discussion regardless. So we could have more discussion in the future about that, but we're going to award that tonight to Aramark. That's a company that we had in the past, and now we're bringing it back again a few years later. The second item we discussed is, here's a happy one, band uniforms. Band uniforms are about 12 years old, and I'll tell you, they do a great job keeping them together, but they really needed to be replaced, so we're going to be able to go out and buy some band uniforms this year. Now, because of the timing, once again, they probably will not be able to be in use during this fall season, but at some time during this school year, they'll have the new uniforms and be able to, maybe during the winter season or whatever they do during the winter, they can use them by then. It takes some time to get the uniforms made and put together for our specifications. Currently, we do not have a preferred maintenance provider, I guess you'd call it, for our commercial appliances. We go out to, not to bid, but we go out and find a repair. We shop for a repair service each time one of the commercial walk-in freezers, warming trays, ovens, every time they need repair. Mr. Mahmood and I think Mr. Ellis, purchasing assistant, was in on this too and did some investigation, some research, and determined that it would be better for us to have a one provider of service. We have a locked-in hourly cost, and that's going to be. I'm trying to remember if I wrote down the name of the.
No, we don't know that yet.
Oh, we don't know.
We're going to go to bid.
Okay, so we're going to find a provider, one provider for service, and we'll lock in the costs for maintenance of that equipment. We haven't found who it's going to be yet, but that's going to be a cheaper and better way to do it. In transportation, we're going to we reviewed a cost analysis on providing busing for those students. They're not special education students, but that participate in the integrated pre-K program. We have not provided busing the last couple of years, and unfortunately, after taking a look at our cost analysis and also some other factors, namely the length of the trip for some students, that we will not be able to provide that this year once again. But of course, we'll look at this on an annual basis as it comes up. We also took a look at providing busing during the extended school year, providing busing for some students who participate in the Special Olympics camp in the afternoon in Lawrenceville. As many of you are aware, we don't always take children to their home after school. We sometimes take them to KinderCare or some other place they need to go in Hillsborough that provides their care. We have no problem doing that. Lawrenceville is another story. That's an expensive proposition, so we asked our transportation supervisor to get some quotes to maybe work out a cost-sharing 50-50 with parents for this service. We took a look at it. We anticipate maybe upwards of 20 students requiring a 24-passenger bus. The total cost to provide this for 6 weeks after school would be $10,000 approximately, of which, if we go forward with this, the board would pay $5,000 and the parents would pay $5,000. Now, we took this back to the parents, and they're taking a look at it and seeing if something they would like to do. So we're going to have some back and forth before we contract it, certainly. And I'll report on it again, regardless at the next meeting. I'll keep in touch with Mr. Mahmood. Regardless, if we've had a committee meeting, I'll report on it at our next board meeting, what we decided on that. Let's see. And we had a couple of construction project updates. For the turf field, the bid packages were picked up, and at the time of our meeting, the bids were not opened. Right. But can we announce now?
Matt has, yeah.
Oh, Matt, would you like to announce who? Because the bids were opened the next day. Yeah, Matt, you want to give some info on that?
We have it as
I'll go on to something else. We'll come back to it.
We have it as an action item.
We have it as an action item today, so we can talk about it later. But we're going to award a bid today for the work on the turf field. We also had an update on the parking lot at the middle school. The project timeline is perfect. Substantial completion date is expected to be August 15th, and it looks good for that. Let's see if I could do maybe one more thing. Oh, okay, so I'll do one more. Yeah, one more, because I already talked about the school physician. As I may have mentioned previous meeting, I'm not sure, the Woods Road School needs a partial yet substantial roof repair. The cost is estimated to be $134,500. It's something that we can no longer put off, unfortunately. So we're looking to have this completed this summer of 2016. And we're looking to use funds that we will be appropriating or will be placing into our capital reserve account soon. And that's looks like how we're going to pay for it, or possibly just through regular surplus, but I'll have more update on that later. This is something that we can't put off, or we must do.
Yep.
And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gillette, for the Operations Committee report. I'll report out for the HR committee. The committee met on May 16th. Items discussed, one was an update to the committee with regard to a recent arbitrator's ruling on efficiency tenure charges, in which the arbitrator ruled in the board's favor. There were update on new language for procedures for HIB process, so it's adding a review step before the recommendation for an HIB investigation is presented to the board, or for the board to act. There were some confidential HR items, and then there was a discussion on coaching evaluations. In terms of the coaching evaluations, we looked at both the evaluation process, the criteria by which coaches are evaluated. We looked at coaching job descriptions, in addition to benchmarking, looking at other districts and what they and how they go through the evaluation process. So the last time that the evaluations were created in the process was back in 2008. So the committee and the administration felt is warranted to look at that and update it, and making sure that we're getting a robust evaluation process that's up to date as well. And that is it from the HR committee meeting. Just real quick, any questions or discussion with regard to the committee reports?
Yeah, just one comment regarding the operations committee. While you guys are evaluating a vendor to take care of the stuff, right? I can't. Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that. I was hearing my own voice and I thought I was speaking loudly. But so you guys are actually trying to select a vendor who is going to provide that service, the maintenance and stuff like that?
The commercial equipment?
Commercial equipment?
Yeah, I guess the decision we made,
Go out to bid.
it will go out to bid.
Okay.
But the decision was made to, let's go out to bid and find a provider that we can lock in some, I guess, labor rates and things like time and materials bid.
All I was suggesting is that some of the utility companies kind of provide that kind of maintenance service, so might want to check out with them like PSE&G and stuff like that. Okay. It may be cheaper.
Okay, thank you.
That might be a consideration.
Just one other thing that occurred after the Operations Committee meeting. We may need to get a legal opinion on the additional busing for the summertime, just to make sure there aren't additional financial or other commitments that the board needs to make going through it.
No, I understand, yeah, and Mr. Moon did brief me on some of that, but we didn't have anything.
Right, at
That's
that
on a
point.
report on that, and nothing's decided.
Very good.
Just wanted to give you guys a heads up.
All right, thank you. All right, continuing on with the agenda, we have comments from the public, and this is with regard to new business or the action agenda. So if you can state your name and address, please, as you come up.
Maria
Wait,
Deluge.
real quick, I just want to, are all the people that are lined around, are those people that are intending to speak? Okay, thank you.
Was that, I didn't get it.
I just wanted to make sure if it was,
Was it-
it's a long line if it works.
Is it, no?
No, they're not. So.
Because you couldn't evoke your 3-minute thing. Okay.
Good evening, Maria DeLucia, 2 South Triangle Road. It goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, how disappointed I am that the board could not negotiate a fair contract. You sat here.
Excuse me a moment. I'd like to just state that no filings have been made with the state yet. And usually when we have a first public comment with regard to negotiations, it's from a joint statement from the HEA and the board. Neither of those have happened. So I just want to recognize that we are still operating under the ground rules that have been agreed by both parties with regard to the work that's been done and confidentiality that needs to be maintained. So I just wanted to make sure that the HEA leadership and the negotiations leadership is aware of that, and you can decide if you want to continue or not.
Okay. What I'm speaking about isn't really about that.
Okay?
Basically, you've heard what they need, yet you've chosen not to listen. So I started to wonder. Dr. Schiff, you get evaluated by the board. Principals and supervisors get evaluated. Teachers and staff get evaluated. But I wondered, when does the board get evaluated? You self-evaluate, but does the public evaluate you? Only at the polls, and only 3 members a year. So I wonder what rating the collective board would earn. Highly effective, effective, partially effective, or ineffective. In terms of education, the Hillsborough Township Public School District is committed to providing a superior education for all students so they will lead us successfully and responsibly into the future. That's our district's mission statement, a philosophy that was drafted to guide all decisions and actions of the district. Teachers find this factored into their evaluations in the form of student growth, but all staff members collaborate to ensure our students achieve yearly academic success. The actions and decisions of our members are rooted in the desire to guarantee this success. So I wonder if the same could be said about your recent decisions. Are these actions rooted in fostering the learning that occurs within these schools? Do you effectively shoulder your portion of this burden, or have these efforts ineffectively met the charge of your position? Regarding HR, Hillsborough Township is one of the largest towns in Somerset County and a district filled with a great deal of pride. You will find outstanding schools, committed administration, faculty, and staff, and a district on the edge of state-of-the-art technology. Our district consistently strives to provide an excellent education for all of its students, and our quest is to hire the best and the brightest candidates for all levels of employment. Again, these are your words, taken directly from the district's website. HR is charged with attracting and keeping the best and the brightest. Without question, you are fortunate to have some of the best staff members in the state. And this is evidenced by Hillsborough's continued high rankings and recognition. But how have your recent actions supported this goal? Will disrespect and disregard effectively attract the best and the brightest? In the area of operations, the inadequately addressed recurring building issues that are beyond the scope of our own building and grounds job descriptions, ventilation, air conditioning, heating, leaking roofs, ineffective custodial management company, the perpetual finger pointing, the mishmash of lowest bid HVAC equipment that do not interface with each other. I could go on. But sadly, you might not be rated high in this area either. And lastly, negotiations. Certainly, the negotiations committee might receive an ineffective rating. I'll leave it at that. So, when you self-evaluate,
I hope that you keep these thoughts in mind. We'll have to wait until November to find out how our members and the public will evaluate you. Over 450 HEA members live here. They work for the Hillsborough School District, and we vote here. And each of these members comes with family and friends that will remember your actions in the polls come November. I proudly live here, work here, and I will vote here in November. Thank you.
Thank you. One moment. Thank you for your opinion and input. I do want to say that we are still in the middle of negotiations, so some of those ratings that you have, in all honesty, could be an incomplete.
Good evening. Thomas Zobelli, 9 Upper Neshannock Court. I've come here this evening to discuss the directive by the Obama administration regarding the transgendered bathrooms. I am not going to go over the morality of the issue. That might cause a stir in this room, so I will not discuss that issue or that part of the issue. But I will discuss the fact that I feel it's an unconstitutional maneuver by the Obama administration. It's an executive overreach. It's unconstitutional, and I think the board should stand up along with other boards throughout this country and say, hell no. It is not the right of the Obama administration to tell districts what they can and can't do, as well as holding districts throughout the country hostage by saying, we will not give you federal funding if you do not follow through. So I was just wondering what the board's view on this was and what they might be doing and considering challenging the Obama administration.
Thanks for your input. We don't have a response right now, and as you know, what the limits are for Article 10 and those items, but there are also state laws as well, which we must comply with. So thank you for your input, and we'll continue on with the public input.
Lisa Demansky, Rolling Hills Lane, Neshannock Station. In 1978, I started my career as a third-grade teacher at Cedar Brook School in Plainfield. I know many of the teachers here weren't even born yet, but it was a difficult time to be an educator and to make ends meet. My take-home pay was $325 every 2 weeks, and so that I'm getting to that point. But the second month into my career, at the young age of 22 years old, I find myself holding a sign on a striking picket line. College never prepared me for this. Our negotiating team ended up in jail, and we and our members held a candlelight vigil at the jailhouse, singing "We Shall Overcome." I was in Plainfield. Eventually, Tom Kean passed a law increasing salaries to $18,500. Fast forward 38 years later, and I find myself still fighting for our rights as educators and a fair living wage. Whenever our economy takes a dive, educators are the whipping boy. I learned quickly that a strong union is needed now more than ever before. Across the country, our bargaining rights are constantly being challenged. We are ridiculed, called greedy, expected to fix all the ills of society. We have a bullying law passed by the biggest bully in Trenton. Now, there are those that tell us how important we are, how teachers make a difference in the lives of children. We are even honored on Teacher Appreciation Day, and it's nice to be honored, but it's clear that we are not valued. The only ones who will fight for us are us. So all the testimonies that were passionately spoken last board meeting fell on deaf ears. Despite the faces of our members, the heartache, the personal grief, nothing seems to matter to the board. I have served the students of Hillsborough for 33 years. That's approximately 11 negotiations. And it never, ever seems to be easy here in Hillsborough during negotiation years. I remember many, many rallies, some in the rain, at the high school auditorium, picketing on Route 206, board members sleeping on cots for all-night negotiations. And this is horrible, but one board member in particular that said teaching is a good part-time job for a woman. Even though this comment was said decades ago, I think that perception is alive and well. This September, I will not be an employee of Hillsborough, but I will be a member of NJREA, and I plan to continue to fight for our rights. Everyone wearing blue tonight, never take for granted what we have achieved collectively. Continue the fight, stay informed, and most importantly, vote. Send this message: we here in Hillsborough are tired of being the whipping boy.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amy Salinger. I'm a teacher in Hillsborough, and I'm the Hillsborough Education Association treasurer. A brief 2-minute Google search of Hillsborough Township school rankings will yield several positive results. Since the start of 2016, Hillsborough Township School District was ranked by Niche.com as having the number 44 high school and the number 21 overall district in New Jersey. Additionally, U.S. News ranked Hillsborough High School as one of the best in the nation and number 54 in New Jersey. In August of 2015, Newsweek ranked Hillsborough High School as number 42 in New Jersey. New Jersey Monthly Magazine conducts their rankings every other year, but the most recent ranking in 2014 had Hillsborough at number 78, which was up 28 spots from their 2012 ranking of 106. All of these rankings are a testament to the quality education the children of Hillsborough receive year after year. It is the members of Hillsborough Education Association that make this happen each and every day. We continue to provide a top-notch educational experience to our students with dedication and professionalism despite the increased demands on our time over the last 5 years. These demands include, but are not limited to, increased time to complete lesson plans due to online requirements. What used to take a prep period or two to write down in a plan book can now take several hours to complete. Increased time on grading and inputting grades due to common assessments, both formative and summative, with drop-dead dates and windows of assessment. Our students spend more time testing than they used to, and our teachers spend more time grading and inputting. Increased time spent on state-mandated teacher evaluation requirements. Apparently, documenting and uploading files to prove you are effective is what the state considers proper use of a teacher's time. And if you think that can be done in a prep period or two, think again. These are just a few examples of the increased demands on our time. They seem to be endless, and each year, more is added with nothing being taken away. So to summarize, Hillsborough rankings, up. Demands of staff time required to fulfill those demands, up. There definitely seems to be an upward trend, except in one area, take-home pay. Chapter 78 was imposed upon all of us 5 years ago, and we have fulfilled more than what was required in healthcare contributions. Over the last 5 years, the teachers and staff of this district have watched as rankings have gone up, workload demands have gone up, and take-home pay has gone down. Something is wrong with this picture. I know of no other profession where the more you work, the less take-home pay you take. I know of no other profession like that. The quality of education in Hillsborough has been sustained, but at what cost? A staff member should not be faced with missing a Little League game, a family dinner, or bedtime snuggles because he or she had to get to that second or third job to make ends meet. A teacher should not spend more time on weekends grading and planning than playing and laughing. Everyone has a tipping point, and I fear we are approaching ours. I'm asking the entire Board of Education to give careful consideration to the needs of our district and to balance those with the needs of our members. You cannot expect rankings to continue to rise while staff morale falls. The responsibility to correct this is yours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mary Beth DeLisi, 9 Stats Drive, HMS literacy teacher. I had a hard time coming up with what I wanted to say to you this evening because I feel like over the past 3 meetings, everybody has said it the best that we could. There's nothing more to say. However, I just want to make sure our message is received. Over the past 3 meetings, you heard us tell you how we cannot continue to watch our take-home pay decrease every year while our health care contributions continue to increase. We shared with you the fact that many of us have to supplement our incomes with second and third jobs. Veteran teachers spoke of the close-knit community that Hillsborough teachers have created over the years, attending students' after-school activities, showing genuine concern for them, while those newer to the profession shared their uncertainty in being able to continue on this career path because our take-home pay continues to decrease. Chapter 78 will sunset, and the board has the opportunity to work with us on a fair and reasonable health care contribution and to recognize all of the great work that we do in our highly ranked schools by providing us with salaries that reflect our value. I implore you to do so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Henry Goodhue, 16 Laurel Drive, Hillsborough Education Association. I stood here a few weeks ago and spoke to the importance of a budget expressing an organization's priorities, but perhaps this did not go far enough. It's easy to claim priorities are expressed on a sheet of paper, buried in numbers that are largely arbitrary and can be changed at any time. Perhaps it is more appropriate to look beyond a budget and examine the words used to describe people managed by the organization. 2 weeks ago, President Kintz said teachers play a critical role in educating and shaping our children. We entrust our children with teachers, and they shape their lives on a daily basis. He then went on to speak to the fact that many board members, himself included, have family members who were or are teachers. President Kintz then reflected upon the lasting impact of teachers and formally recognized Hillsborough teachers and support staff for the excellent work they do. These words and the sentiment they conveyed are pleasant, but how ironic that they were followed by the dismissal of aforementioned staff members' concerns and basic needs. So perhaps even words fall short of truly expressing an organization's priorities. Numbers can be changed and words can be hollow, so commitment and values are fairly hard, if not impossible, to accurately ascertain from these sources. The only true source from which priority and value can be derived is action. Actions cannot be amended by a line item transfer or packaged in platitudes that ultimately praise education, but not the educators. Mahatma Gandhi said that actions express priorities. Actions are the only true indicator of an organization's priorities and values, but often one's actions are stunted by excuses. It's far too easy to say that you can't or that there's no way, far too easy to disavow one's responsibility with comfortable excuses, but I wonder how comfortable these excuses would remain if instead of can't, you used won't, and instead of there's no way, said it's just not a priority. I wonder if these words were used, would it still reflect the collective beliefs? Would everyone remain in support of the message delivered? Staff members, the very same that were praised by President Kintz for performing excellent work in education and shaping our children, came to you and articulated their needs. They shared with you that they're being forced to work 2 or sometimes 3 jobs while still delivering the excellent education that has become a defining characteristic of the Hillsborough Public Schools, the very thing you found worthy of praise. Sadly, they are often met with can't when it is really won't, and they are told there is no way when in truth it seems it's not a priority. They were left to battle against an unspoken belief that above-average schools can be maintained by staff that are valued below. That's the thing with actions. You can describe them however you want, but the message inevitably rings true. If you sit at this table, it's not words or numbers that articulate your collective belief regarding education and the excellent work Hillsborough teachers and support staff perform on a daily basis. It is your actions, or perhaps more importantly, inactions, that speak to that. Prepare budgets however you see fit, and present speeches with gratitude and platitudes, but actions will always speak louder. Your true priorities and values are articulated through your actions. We have heard your message. It is time that you hear ours. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. All members have heard you. All board members that are at the dais have heard you. Thank you. Seeing no other public comment, we'll continue on with the meeting. And now I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Schiff for the action agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Kinst. I ask for the board's consideration of the following motions under the area of education: to approve travel and related expenses, to approve the HIB determination, or affirm the superintendent's determination for HIB list. Overnight trip is listed. Approve the participation of you and me in the PLCs for the Summer PD Institute. Approve teachers participating in the NGSS Science Summer Institute. Approve teachers participating in the Workshop Model Institute 2.0. And approve the teachers participating in the Workshop Model 2.0 for grades K-3 as well as 4 through 8. Approve curriculum writing and common assessment development. Approve textbooks, video, and program adoption as reported out of Education Committee report. Approve field trip destinations, revised curriculum for kindergarten, and accept the Fresh Films Technology Grant.
I'd like to entertain a motion to approve items A1 through A12 of the action agenda.
So moved.
Have a second? Second. Thanks. Any discussion?
I have
Mrs.
to
Haas.
abstain from A1.1.
A1.1. Okay. Yes. All right. Yep, got it. Thank you. Any other discussion on items other than that? No, it was hard seeing a full math curriculum for kindergarten. So be it. Okay, this is, again, motion to approve items A1 through A10, excluding item A1.1. A12, sorry. I was looking at that. So A1 through A12, excluding A1.1. Roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood.
Surely. Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Dutta?
Yes.
Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Mrs. Haas?
Yes.
And Mr. Kint?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion approved. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve item A1.1. So moved. Second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood.
Surely. Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Dutta?
Yes.
Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Mrs. Haas?
Abstain.
Mrs. Haley? And Mr. Kint?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Continue on with the action agenda. Dr. Schiff.
Thank you, Mr. Kintz. I ask for the board's consideration of the following motions that I'm making under the area of human resources: to approve the annual adoption of the evaluation model and related policies as listed below. Approve the retirements and resignations as listed. The retirement of Joanne Gagliardi, school nurse who has been with us in Hillsborough Elementary School since September of 1999. Thank you so much for your service. And Deborah Rossman, first grade teacher at Triangle School, who has been with us since 1979. Thank you for your service. Approve the resignations as listed. Approve the revised leaves of absences, contract changes, transfers, and assignments. And the appointment of a long-term sub, co-curricular advisors is listed, substitutes, and approve the appointments of a coach, renewal of tenured HPSA staff members, the renewal of instructional assistants. I am actually going to ask that we pull B10. There may be a clerical error on it. We'll put it back for board consideration at our next board meeting. B11, the approval and renewal of clerical assistants, the renewal of lunch aides, renewal of custodian and maintenance workers, and approve the extra pre-coverage pre-approval, as well as the 2016 summer extended school year program salaries. Approve the summer athletic camp stipends as listed, the revised 6-period coverage, and the student teacher. So B1 through B18, tabling B10.
I'd like to entertain a motion to approve items B1 through B18 excluding B10.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please, Mr. Mo. Oh, Mr. Gillette, or Mr. Cohen.
Hi. Just wanted to say that, again, I wanted to thank Mr. Molinaro for his service, still remaining with the program, and I also want to congratulate the administration on finding, as quickly as they did, a cheer coach who seems to be able to fill several roles. And the parents are very happy, and I think the kids will be happy too. So that's an attaboy for the administration. And also, I wanted to wish well, it seems we have a few more than normal teachers, professionals going out on sick leave, family leave. I want to just wish them the best and a quick return back to our family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen.
Surely. Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Dutta?
Yes.
Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Mrs. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Kins?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Continue on with the action agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Kins. I ask for the board's consideration of the following motions under the area of operations: to accept the monthly bills list, the contract for facilities and maintenance management services, to approve the addendum to the settlement on the attachment, to approve the agreement with Effective School Solutions, as reported out of committee.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve items C1 through C5 of the action agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I got a just question.
Yeah.
On C5,
Yeah.
that's the number for the whole project?
I'm
sorry, I actually didn't
talking about
announce
the
it.
field.
That is exclusive of professional services? That's just the construction. The construction and materials, correct?
Yes.
So it's the carpet and the installation, not professional services.
So architect and some people, engineering, if they have, if the
Engineering,
architect
yeah.
employs one or whatever, that's in addition to this.
Do we know how much additional?
Yes, we have an estimate. Matt, do we have that number?
I think we actually included it in the
We already voted
backup.
on the architect's cost. So what's the total landing to, I think, that's...
You already voted on that.
Where- Well,
Yeah,
just to be
they're just-
specific.
They're just specifying, clarifying what the amount is.
Yeah, well, I know.
The total cost?
Yeah, but let me just be specific
The
as they're
total
looking it
cost,
up.
Matt, tell me the total cost to be $520,000 with the other fees included,
So
all in with all the fees.
We're about $80,000 below
$80,000
budget.
below,
And we're about the same with the middle school paving project. So total below what was budgeted and what was voted on by the taxpayers is about 150, 160 or so, all in.
That was my question. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll be borrowing less.
Yep.
Okay. Any other comments, discussions for items C1 through C5? Okay, roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood.
Surely. Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Finally, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Dutta?
Yes.
Mr. Gillette?
yes.
Mrs. Haas? And Mr. Kins?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes.
We actually got something done that I wanted to get done. Damn.
That ends the action agenda. I'd like to open it up to the public now for comments. And this is one of the two times. I'm going to draw straws.
No?
It's delicious. Please.
Maria DeLucia, 122 South Triangle Road. First, I would like to publicly thank the two board members, that Steve Cohen and Dina Santafanti, for accepting our invitation and participating in our inaugural day of service. I would like to thank the Arc of Somerset for providing us with the 3 group homes to assist with spring cleanup, and thank you also to some township businesses, Belmead Co-op and Lowe's, for donating all the mulch, the flowers, and the potting soil for our event.
Thank you.
Henry Goodhue, Hillsborough Education Association. I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. Cohen and Mrs. Santafanti and just say that it was truly refreshing to see us work together to positively impact the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Henry, you gotta do the deck.
Pictures or didn't happen?
You gotta do the deck, Henry.
Is that what they're saying?
Okay, any announcements or comments from the board? On
Yeah,
any
I have a
items?
comment from me regarding an issue that came up a few weeks ago, and I don't know why it just sort of fell into the void because we're so busy with everything else. I think we need, I don't know, who's the committee? HR, operations? I know it's not education.
For what?
Chad.
What?
Security, safety, we need to bring that back up and take a look at it in a committee level based upon what occurred. I think it was a discussion that was had about a year or two ago about hiring somebody full-time to be our overall school, security or safety manager, coordinator.
I can move it to operations and also for HR.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I think it should be put on their agenda that we look at this. I mentioned it before while we were hanging out, while you guys were having your little private set-to. Iman and Lisa were just saying Warren Township hired an ex-prosecutor's office officer, and he's taken over the whole. Actually, his daughter was a student here, Megan Shea. Chris Shea took over for Warren, and he runs the whole security operation, safety security for the school system. They're not as large as us, so I think we should, as opposed to if we ever get into this thing, hiring a consultant who doesn't know Hillsborough. I think it'd be preferential we look at within the family. I know you had discussions with Paul. Okay. I think it's something we should explore deeper.
All right, thanks for your request. We'll address it both in the operations committee and in the HR committee.
Yeah, I don't know if
we'll take a look at it.
I don't know where you can go with it, but I think we should definitely get deeper into it.
We should always periodically review security. I think I think Mr. Cohen's about right, that it's probably about time to take a look at what our procedures are and how we handle things. I think we've done a good job. I think it's worth looking at also.
Oh, I forgot one other thing. Policy regarding the resource officer, if he's not in the building or she's not in the building, that should never happen again. There's an absence. If somebody's not here, they should send in a replacement immediately.
I'm not sure. It's
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other
I have
comments
one.
from the board? Mr. Gillette.
Mr. Zobley mentioned something during his comments. Did we ever get a letter? I didn't see a letter. Can you disseminate it to the board members? I'd like to see it. I'd like to see that letter from President Obama, or whatever. Or I guess it's from the Department of Justice and the
It's from the Office of Civil Rights.
Office of Civil Rights. Well, I would need to see that. Absolutely. We can't make any. I know Mr. Zobley is probably looking for a comment from us, but I think it's premature to make any comment when we haven't seen the letter.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gillette.
thanks.
Okay. All right. Seeing no other.
Judy.
Are you
Mrs.
making
Haas?
a comment?
No.
Oh.
Would you like to make a comment?
I just want to acknowledge our superintendent, who will be honored this Wednesday with the presidency of the Garden State Coalition of Schools, which is a wonderful organization which advocates for school districts and does a lot of work trying to get us our fair share of state aid, trying to get us mandates that are funded as opposed to unfunded. And in addition to his stepping up to be president of that wonderful organization, there will be a wonderful panel discussion moderated by John Mooney, the education reporter, with several assembly people who are very involved in education. And I'd just like to congratulate Dr. Schiff for this honor. He's previously served as treasurer, and he's been a very articulate spokesperson for all the educational issues in our state. And I'd just like to say congratulations.
And additionally, he's been a stalwart champion with regard to legislative, partnering with legislators both within the district here, but then also across the county in multiple counties. So pulling a couple meetings together with legislators from across the state and superintendents across.
I'm sorry. We should have ended on that, but I had one more. I'm sorry, Dr. Schiff. I didn't mean to step on your happiness and your pride. So I noticed that we had the New Jersey School Boards Association had their had their delegate assembly recently. I don't know. Do we have it? I don't know if we sent anybody.
We didn't send anybody.
Okay,
Sure.
but regardless, there were many proposals put forth, and from different. If you're a school district, you can have a proposal there, and it's voted on, and most of them passed. The one that didn't pass, I'm very likely to say, is the one that I talked about at this meeting. It was the one that was talked up by the director of the New Jersey School Boards, was the one that would make an exception to increase the tax levy cap for additional items, one of them being for special education services, which I thought would do nothing but increase the cost of special education services tremendously if the providers, and I'm talking about when we send students out of district, if those providers knew that there was unlimited funds because you could have an exception to get unlimited tax money to pay for that. That was outrageous. It was the only proposal at the Delegate Assembly that was defeated, and I'd like to think that I had something to do with that. Thank you. Not really.
That was a resounding rejection.
Yes.
All right. Seeing no other commentary from board members, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.